The truth is that consumer policy affords us in the institutions a great opportunity to really connect with citizens, because every citizen of the European Union, by one means or another, is a consumer or will be a consumer in time. And so what we have sought to do in the agenda is to lay out the actions that will make that practical difference to people. And under heading 1, which I think is a really important one, and it speaks to the other priorities that we have in seeking to implement the Draghi report and the Letter report, it's about making more of the EU single market. And this means that there is an obligation across the Commission, shared by myself and all of my colleagues, to advance files that will make life a little bit easier for consumers in the European Union, that will allow them to access goods and services throughout the European Union, where currently there may be barriers. And examples would include in the area of cross-border financial services, where consumers often find it very difficult, if not impossible, to make use of financial services products in another member state, even though they might be geographically quite close. Another area, I think, is in the transport area, where I know Commissioner Zizi Kostas and his colleagues in DG Move are very active. That's why we have proposed launching initiatives for multimodal digital mobility services, single digital booking and ticketing, and a targeted revision of rail passenger rights to enhance travel booking. So while these are examples that sit in other DGs, they are fundamentally consumer measures that will make a real difference, and so we will seek to provide impetus and momentum to all of these initiatives. Another couple of examples would be an initiative on cross-border car rental, which we know can be difficult for consumers, and also concluding roaming agreements with EU candidate countries. We know how popular the end of roaming charges was within the European Union, so can we extend that same arrangement to candidate countries, for example, Ukraine and Moldova as of January 2026, and the Western Balkans. So those are just some practical examples in the area of deepening the single market for consumers, but also for businesses. I would also point to what is a basic right, but one which all too often now is not being vindicated, and that is the right to purchase from your residence or your business in the European Union a product online that comes in from outside the European Union, or indeed that originates from the European Union. You have a legal right for that to be a safe product and a compliant product. And unfortunately, in all too many cases at the moment, that right is not being vindicated. And that is why we have a whole series of actions to step up enforcement with the existing tools we have, doing more joint product testing, for example, using the latest e-surveillance tools online to detect the availability of products online on platforms that may not meet minimum EU safety standards. And I stood here a few months ago with the annual Safety Gate report, and I held in my hands products that pose real dangers to health and even to life. So these are critical issues that I think are really important for consumers. And I recently visited China, as you know, and engaged with a number of the platforms, and engaged with the Chinese authorities and ministers in the Chinese government. And my main message there was that if you're selling into the European market, and it is a very lucrative market for them and it's growing in scale, you must respect EU consumer protection rules and indeed our product safety standards. But in addition to fully utilising all of the existing tools, that is why I have highlighted in my remarks and in the agenda the need for a review of the Consumer Protection Cooperation Regulation, because at the moment the system we have of trying to coordinate through the Commission the actions of up to 27 different national consumer authorities for breaches that can be really complex, that can be cross-border in nature and very material, it's quite an unwieldy process, and it doesn't lead to great outcomes in general. And I think we need to improve that system, and I think the Commission should have a greater role for breaches above a certain threshold. So that's another example, I think, of what is set out in the agenda can mean in practical terms to help make life a little bit easier and a little bit safer and better for European consumers.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.